Okay, go ahead. We are recording.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar on the path to wellness. My colleague and I, Stephanie Johnston-Robertson, hope that we can inspire you, share some information on how you can find your path to wellness. But before I begin my part of the webinar, I just wanted to do a brief introduction of myself. I spent the last 15 years managing retail businesses, and over that period of time have learned a great deal about human behavior. I feel very grateful that I've had those experiences, but unfortunately last year, due to the pandemic, I lost my job and found myself in unfamiliar territory. I had to basically come up with a plan to reinvent myself. So I went back to school and I got my license to become a career and life coach. And I found that to be a very enlightening experience because over the last 10 years, I had been thinking nothing but how to start my own business. And I kept coming up with excuses and reasons why not. And when I went through my training, I discovered through some self-reflection, the reason that I wasn't achieving that goal was because of my belief system. And that's the subject that I've chosen to talk to you today about. But before I begin that, I just wanted to share with you what coaching is. Coaching is not therapy and it's not counseling. What it is partnering with individuals to help create actions and plans to create new possibilities for yourself. And I'm very excited and very passionate about doing that. And I hope today, through our journey together, that you'll discover some new things about yourself. Now, with this exercise, I just wanted to mention an example of a belief. And I was talking to Stephanie about this the other day. And as children from the ages of 3 to 7, you are imprinted with beliefs. And 95% of those are subconscious. So you're not even fully aware that you're making choices based on that. And as a child, I remember hearing quite often that money doesn't grow on trees. And I didn't think much about it as a child. But as I became an adult, now studying coaching, I've realized what that message is money isn't going to come easily for you. You're going to have to work for it. And so that was just an example I wanted to illustrate to you on a belief that you may have had as a child. Now, the other thing is, I wanted to pose a question to you to think about as we do this exercise. And I want you to think about, have you ever wondered why, when you've been given a new opportunity or to either start a new job or meet someone new, that you have some anxiety or fear around that? Well, the reason you do is from your belief system. So I'm hoping today that the exercise that we're going to do together is going to help you gain more insight into the things you've done really well in your life and some new opportunities that you may have to change your beliefs. So I'm going to give you a minute to grab a pen and paper. And while you're doing that, I just want to talk about the beliefs that we're going to talk about today. And there are 3 categories that seem to have the greatest impact in people's lives. And I did some market research as I was training to become a life coach. And the 3 areas are career, money, and relationships. So please jot those 3 categories down on a piece of paper. And when you're doing that, I want you to think about the first thought that comes to mind for any of those categories. So an example, if you look at the slide, I think it's a little further, there you go. I wrote down some examples that you may relate to. For example, with career, I always find solutions. That could be the first thought that comes to mind there. Or money, I can make money, but I don't seem to get ahead. And then for relationships, I never seem to meet people that share the same values. And then once you've done that, I'd like you to assign either a positive, neutral, or negative comment beside it. And what I'd like to do is just explain what neutral means. Neutral means a belief that you have had some success with, but maybe not on a consistent basis. Obviously, a positive belief has brought you a lot of happiness and a sense of accomplishment. And a negative belief maybe has brought some heartache or has been a struggle for you. So, what is the outcome of all this? I'm hoping that you'll reflect and think about how your life has gone in these particular areas and maybe recognize, wow, isn't that great? I have had a lot of success in this particular area of my life. And maybe, oh, this negative belief is an opportunity for me that I can work on and become more aligned with more positive beliefs. So, in saying that, people often want to understand, why is that important? And I was trying to think of an analogy that we could all relate to today. And I think of technology. We all have navigation systems in our cars and on our phones, and we put in an address, and sometimes the navigation system takes us on a tour rather than the direct route. So beliefs basically are your guidance system, and they may or may not have given you the right directions in your life. So with coaching, you can change those beliefs. And I'm a living example of that and have discovered that through my own reflection. So I hope that you've found some value in doing this exercise today. And I'm open to any questions you might have. We plan to do that part of the webinar at the very end, so you can post them into the chat if you'd like, and we can cover them for you then. Before I pass this baton on to Stephanie, my colleague here, I just want to say how grateful I am that I connected with her on LinkedIn and discovered that we had so much in common. So it's really a privilege to work with her on this webinar. And I look forward to connecting with all of you at another time. So Stephanie, please go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so let me just adjust our view here for a second. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you, Hope. I appreciate that beautiful introduction. And I am so grateful that we connected on LinkedIn as well. I think, it's interesting. We both come from this retail background and have made this pivot into entrepreneurship, I guess we can call it. So I'm excited for that. And, I will tell you guys, as I was approached by Hope about this webinar and putting this together and really teaming up on this, one of the things that attracted me to this was what Hope does, this coaching. And I will tell you, through my corporate career, I never considered hiring a career or life coach. It was not something that was even sort of in my realm of consideration. And I think I just hadn't necessarily been exposed to it yet at that point. And over the course of the last 18 months, I've had the opportunity to be exposed to some pretty incredible coaches, including this partnership with Hope. And in hiring my own coach earlier this year in 2021, it has been a game changer for me. So I am a huge supporter of making that investment into yourself. I think that, coming out of the corporate world, we're very comfortable with making investments into our personal development. But I just want to say that, that coaching element and having that objective partner can be a really incredible, deep partnership. So anyway, thank you, Hope, for that beautiful introduction. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Stephanie Johnston-Robertson. I am what I like to call a corporate dropout and an essential oil specialist and entrepreneur. I spent the last 25 years of my life building a successful career as a retail leader. I was a regional manager. I was working 60 hours a week, traveling across North America for my job, a job that I absolutely loved. And I was spending more time on planes and in hotels than I was with my family. And the truth is, I was exhausted and I was really missing my family. In 2018, I went through my own health journey and I was diagnosed with cancer. And that was really the brick that I needed to start to look at my lifestyle and really figure out what I needed to be doing differently to live a healthier and happier life. And that's when I was introduced to essential oils and really became passionate about a more natural lifestyle, looking at natural solutions and, removing the toxins from our lives. I continued to just sort of learn about essential oils over the next couple of years as I continued in my retail job. And then in 2020, my role was eliminated. This was pre-COVID, so of course we headed into COVID, and then we all know the impacts across the workforce. It is just unbelievable how many people have been deeply impacted by what has happened in the world over the course of the last 15 months. And so in that moment, I had two choices. I could start over with a new company and begin to build from scratch, or I could invest the time and build for myself. And that's what I've chosen to do, is to build a business of my own. So I'm here today to share with you guys just some simple steps. And these are really, as you hear them, I'm sure you'll be like, okay, that's not a game changer. And, they're not intended to be. These are simple strategies that really have made an impact in my life and in my business. And there are things that when I was in corporate, I wish I had been doing consistently. I think that I definitely would have been healthier. I definitely would have been happier if I had been putting these simple strategies into play. So let's get started. So our first one is to become an early riser. And I know there's people out there rolling their eyes and I can appreciate that. I've always been an early riser. So I will preface this by saying I am the natural early riser, but I now get up at 5 a.m. every morning. And the reason for that is that as a woman with a family, it's really important for me to find that time to myself. And, when I was working in a corporate role, I was always getting up early, but I would immediately jump on email. I am a, recovering people pleaser and seeker of gold stars. And so I would be always on email, being the first to respond and making sure I had the reports and doing all of the things. And, I wasn't investing the time in self-care. And so becoming an early riser to me now means getting up earlier and investing that time in myself, whether that is through prayer, meditation, journaling, just enjoying the ritual of a quiet cup of coffee in the dark. This can make all of the difference because you will start your day off grounded and centered. It allows you time to think about how you want to show up in your day, set your intentions, and to really just exist with yourself for a few moments before you begin to pour into the rest of the world. So definitely something I would recommend trying. If you're not ready for 5 a.m. yet, maybe just set that alarm clock 30 minutes early, 30 minutes earlier, and, see how you do with that and, sort of build up to it. The next one is to move your body. So whatever your choice is for exercise, whether that is cycling, if you've joined the Peloton movement, or walking,
Yes.
running, practicing yoga, weight training, whatever whatever fills you up as far as moving your body and exercising. I love to get out into nature. That's one of the things that is so important to me. But moving our bodies every day is an incredible practice. It helps to, we know that exercise releases endorphins. It helps you to feel energized. And if it's something that you do before work, you're going to also be setting the tone for your body for the day, right? We're really setting ourselves up to be able to manage the stresses of the day. These are unprecedented times that we are living through. People are experiencing stress and anxiety at unheard of levels. And so we need to really be mindful of our minds and our bodies and protecting ourselves. And so exercise and moving our bodies is absolutely one of those ways to do that and to really protect our energy. So, that 30 minutes a day of how you move your body, and you may, rotate that. So some days it might be a really, strenuous, full out impact activity, maybe a HIIT ride. And then the next day might be a really slow flow, beautiful yoga. Listen to your body. It's telling you what it needs, and follow those instincts because your body knows best for you. And I am a believer of that. Okay, our next two, let's move forward. So the next one is drinking water. So if you spend enough time with me, you will hear this over and over again, but we are not drinking enough water. Specifically women on average are dehydrated. And so we need to be drinking about 50% of our body weight in ounces of water. So let's do the quick math. If you weighed 150 pounds, half of that is 75, meaning you should be drinking 75 ounces of water per day. Now, in order to do this, and I'm going to pause here, if you're with me and you've got water, I encourage you to take a drink. Always have your water nearby, okay? But water has natural calming properties. So as we talk about the state of the world right now, what we're all dealing with, water is necessary for all cells in our body to function properly, right? We think that we're drinking coffee or we're drinking tea and we're drinking all of these things. And so you've got fluids going in, but at the end of the day, the reality is you need water to fuel and to hydrate your body. And my personal favorite is to always add a drop of a pure essential oil. I would only recommend this with your Terra essential oils because anytime you ingest something, you want to know the purity and the potency of that product. But I love a drop of lemon or wild orange. Citrus oils are so incredible to add to your drinking water. They boost the flavor, which encourages you to drink more, which is the idea. And they also have natural cleansing properties. So they're going to help to detoxify and you're going to enjoy those internal benefits as well. And then the final thing is to breathe. And I invite you to join me in this right now. If you are sitting in a chair, I ask you to sit up straight, put your feet flat on the ground, and let's just take a moment to breathe together. We're going to breathe in for 5, we're going to hold for 5, and we're going to exhale for 5. So deep breath in, hold, and exhale. Doing that a couple of times a day, just taking that moment to pause and to just simply breathe will lower the stress in your body. If you are feeling that moment of overwhelm, that moment of anxiety, maybe it is just a sense of, I don't know where to start or I don't know where to go from here, pause and allow your body to center and ground. And you can easily do this anywhere you are, whether you're sitting at your desk or you're out and about with your family or in your car, you can take a moment to just breathe. And I would absolutely encourage adding an essential oil to this practice as well. A drop of a grounding essential oil in the palms of your hands, rub your hands together. And as you breathe in, placing your hands over your nose and your mouth will create a scent tent, as we call it. You're going to breathe in all those beautiful aromatics. Those aromatics will travel back and actually send messages through your limbic system. Your limbic system at the back of your brain is what controls your mood and emotions. So those aromatics, those essential oils, those compounds are going to send messages through your limbic system and through your body to tell you to relax, to calm, right? It's going to help to support you in those moments when you need it most. So when I just, take those moments, this is my encouragement. I know it seems really basic, right? Breathe. But the truth is when we're stressed and we're filled with anxiety or anxiousness, we actually breathe really shallow. So we tend to be breathing really shallow, and that shallow breath will only fuel that feeling. Whereas when we take that moment to deep breathe, it helps to clear the mind, it helps to focus, and then you can move forward in the situation that you're in. So that is my tip on breathing. So those are our 4 tips today. We're going to get up earlier, right? We're going to drink lots of water. We're going to move our bodies and we're going to breathe. As I said, you guys, these are simple strategies. I'm sure nobody's mind is blown right now, but they are strategies that we do not practice on a regular basis, right? These are not things that we naturally practice. And so I really would encourage you to take one or all of these and try to apply them to rituals within your own life where you will feel really empowered through having these simple strategies. And so I just want to share that, what I offer clients when I work with them is essential oils. Obviously, that is my passion. I love to educate. I love to connect people to resources and natural solutions. And I am all about building community, getting a group of people who are passionate about a similar lifestyle, who are looking to really support themselves and to live healthier and happier is what I am absolutely here to do. So as we wrap up, and we'll come back to see if there are any questions in the chat in a moment, I just want to share that Hope and I are so grateful that you joined us today. And so we would love to stay in touch. So if you have your phone with you and you'd like to take a screenshot, I encourage you to take a screenshot. Here is my contact information, my email, my website, and also my Instagram. I love to play over in Instagram. That is my social media playground. So if you are on Instagram, please come and find me, drop me a note. That is where I hang out most of the time. I absolutely love it. And then Hope, do you want to share yours?
Yeah, I would love to hear from some of you if you have any questions. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, and I really enjoy Twitter as well. I just didn't have room on here. So feel free to reach out, and thank you so much for your time today.
Awesome. And so as we wrap up, and I'll stop sharing in a second, we just want to share that health is a state of mind, wellness is a state of being. And so we are really here to combine today health practices with mindset. And I think as Coach, I was going to call you Coach Hope. So there you go, Coach Hope. As Hope was coaching about, I like that, right? As Hope was coaching about mindset and really working through your mindset, you know, it is that combination of the mind and the body that we can come together for true wellness. And so we're really excited today to be able to share with you a couple of offers. And I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here for a second, and we'll come back and I will drop those in the chat for you. Oh, there we go. Hang on one second. And so Hope, do you want to share what your offer is?
Sure. Thank you. Well, that was really actually quite enlightening, Stephanie. I want to thank you for that, because I think we take a lot of things for granted and forget how doing simple things can impact our lives. What I'd like to offer anyone who's interested is I will give you a free 30-minute, what we call discovery call. And I would love to hear from you. And again, our contact information will be provided. So please reach out and let's get connected. Thank you.
Awesome. I love that. A free discovery call, a free coaching call is good to have. I love that.
Yes.
And then for myself, I've created an active workbook. So I have an active workbook that includes some simple strategies like we talked about today, as well as some journal prompts to really encourage you to kind of think about your wellness at a different level. What are you really working on? Maybe think about some of the barriers or resistances that you have and journal through those. So that is available. If you go to my website, there is a free download. You just have to submit your email and it will come right to your into your inbox. So with that, I think we will just pause the recording here, but thank you so much for joining us.